Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We said it twice. Good afternoon. The, the 220 Quarterback Club is about to start. We always start on time. Okay, there are a couple announcements that we have to make, and I'm gonna call James. To, he's gonna be first. Then after James, it will be Brother Thornton, and then after Thornton, it would be Colonel Ronald Joe. So in those orders, will you all come on?
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to invite all of you to. We got a lot of things going on this weekend, but I want to invite all of you to the cap off on Sunday morning at Bethel Missionary Baptist Church. We're going to have a 100 voice male choir, and the coach and all of the FAMU Rattler football team is going to be there. Now, Coach, last week, uh, Dr. Walker, she made a comment about them going, planning to feed y'all over at Bethel AME. And I know that the hurricane messed you up, Dr. Walker, but Coach, we going to feed you. And we're going to feed you a championship meal like we did last year. So, Dr. Walker, we gonna feed them, and we gonna feed them good, and they're gonna win another championship based on the meal that we gonna give them. But all of y'all are welcome to Bethel Missionary Baptist Church, 224 North Martin Luther King Boulevard, this Sunday. We look to see you there with the Rattlers, and we're gonna cheer them on for the first game. Thank you. At 10 a.m. Services start at 10 a.m. We look to see you there. No, we're not serving everybody, but come anyway.
Okay, Harold.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Good, 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 good. Let me first say that I've apologized to Dr. Geraldine Jackson for the delay in getting information out, but our hands have been tied on this issue for a couple of months now, and without having approval directly from the university, we didn't want to share any dates or anything until it had come to fruition for the most part. Um, for several months, a small group of members of the 220 started a project not on behalf of the 220 Quarterback Club, but in support and of our great leader who's gone on to glory. And we had started on a project to do a wall of honor for a great leader, Eddie Jackson, and we were supposed to have unveiled it back a couple of days prior to after his passing. But because of his passing, it was delayed, and then we got another date scheduled about a month following that for August the 9th at 11:30. And because of the challenges that we've had with the president leaving and the transition, it's been quite difficult to get some confirmation. We're still on the calendar and we're waiting to see who's going to represent the university. And we're scheduled for August the 9th at 11:30. We will be unveiling a wall of honor for our great leader, Eddie Jackson. And it's a small work group of ours that are going to be doing it. But because we're members of the quarter 220, the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club family. We want our family to be there as well. It's going to be on the main level of the Al Lawson Center. When you go in the entrance by the ticket office, if you go to your left and work yourself around, it's going to be there between. It's going to dedication and unveiling is going to be between 11:30, about 11:30 sharp. And we hope to get more information out. We hope that Vaughn will be able to get a flyer out and also to YouTube it because we want to make sure it's archived. We apologize for the delay. It's just been the new president didn't start until yesterday or day before yesterday. And I'm sure he has a lot on his plate relating to all the transitional stuff that he has to do. But I've been in touch with his office, and we are trying to get some word today as to who will be representing the university. So we know that the president is a friend of Eddie Jackson, so we don't anticipate there being a problem with support. We thank Dr. Robinson for supporting this thing from the start, and we hope that it will be a great occasion and one that Eddie's family and Geraldine will be proud of. And we look forward to it. Again, we apologize for the late notice on it, but we've been working steadily for over a month trying to get confirmation. Any questions or concerns that you might have, please let me know after the luncheon today. I appreciate it very much. And go Rattlers and go Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club.
Okay, come on.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Come on, y'all, quiet. We got to be more noise than that. Good afternoon. All right, all right, all right. Well, we're here to talk about the possibility of all of you all going to the Rattler Booster Kickoff Luncheon. And I hope you've all heard about it. And let me talk to you about it a little bit. As we all know, that kickoff is all about raising money. It's also a forum that we can show to our coaches and show our student athletes that we care about them. And we hope that you will want to come out and do that. The event starts off, first of all, 10th of August, 7 o'clock in the morning. We're going to have registration with the golf team. We have 5 teams there, and a possibility for one more to play. But at the moment, that's the case. Registration will be at 7 a.m. They'll start playing golf at 8 a.m. Coach, if you decide you still want to be there, we've got a golf cart ready, and we've got somebody assigned to the golf cart. And I'll share my. You'll be there, all right. I got the name, and I got his name here. Name is Charles Reddick, and he'll be there waiting for you, looking for. I'm gonna try to get up early and come out there and meet you too, Coach. What you can see out there. And then if you want to play as a team, it costs $300 for the team, and it costs $75 each for you if you individually want to go out there and try and join a team. But that'll be fun for us. There's going to be a breakfast snack, some juice, some coffee, a gift bag, and we hope that you'll really enjoy going out there and playing some golf for us. And then after that, the next thing that happens to us is at the Al Lawson Center. We will open up there at 1 p.m. So you can come on over there and come in and walk around and pat each other on the back. Join the Booster Club. Where's Miss Hadley there? Somewhere, Miss Hadley. Raise your hand. See that lady there, and you can join the boosters and have lots of fun. There will be some vendors there. They'll be selling, paraphernalia, the kind of things that I have on here. So if you want to go there and do that, and I don't want you to forget my. I didn't wear one this morning either. My wristband. We have those. They're $3 a piece, and you get 2 for $7. I had somebody give me $7 for 2 of them. They're still $3 a piece. And then somebody gave me, and we can also sell you 3 for $10. So come on over there. We'll have plenty of those, and we'll be happy to give you that. This is going to be real special. Last year I'm gonna say it out loud because I've already complained to Mets. The food wasn't all that great. So we've looked them in the eyes and said the food wasn't all that great, and we want the food to be great. We lost the opportunity to have the off-campus agency give it to us, so they've given it to. They're giving it to us, and they promised me that it's going to be absolutely outstanding. And so instead of chicken fingers like we had last year, we're going to have pulled chicken. We're going to have pulled pork. We're going to have bread and cornbread, mac and cheese, coleslaw, baked beans, tea, sweet, non-sweet, and lemonade, and cookies and fudge. We're going to have white tablecloths on and orange and green. We're going to have orange and green napkins on there. How about that? So it's going to look good. So you ought to come over there and partake with us. The doors open at 1, as I've said, because that give you a chance to come around and say hello to each other and have some fun. And then at 2 o'clock, at 2 p.m. exactly, we're going to kick it off to work on it. Our goal is to get out of there in 2 hours so that we can we can move on. Following that 2 to 4, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock event, Joe Bullett's going to be the master of ceremony. Daryl Jones is going to introduce those distinguished visitors and give us a little comedy in that as well. And when that's over at 4 o'clock, then there's Fan Day. And Fan Day is done by the athletic department, and it's just upstairs from where we will be down on the floor of the arena. So you can come and do that and have a good time. Now, the next question is, how many of you do not have tickets? Let's see how brave you are. Don't put me down. If you don't have a ticket, raise your hand. Everybody in here has a ticket to the kickoff. That sounds wonderful. All right, I hope you're telling me the truth. But in case you didn't want to raise your hand and talk to me, the good news is we do have tickets left. The tickets are $60 a piece, and we can get you to a seat at a table. We have tables left. The tables are $450 each. Remember, we're trying to raise funds here now, so come on. And the last thing you can do, whether you go or not, is you can make a contribution, and any amount you want to give us will be appreciated. So, if you want to come and give $500 as a contribution, we would welcome that, and it is tax deductible, and you can do it. And if you don't go, you can do the whole thing. If you want to get a hold of somebody, Selvin Cobb, John C., and myself, I have some phone numbers up here. I'll check. I'll be happy to share with you. I won't do that. And then don't forget Wilbur Johnson. And Wilbur can help you. And if you can't find Wilbur, just talk to anybody you see on the streets. Everybody in Tallahassee is Wilbur's cousin, and they'll be able to get you in touch with Wilbur anyway. So do that. For the rest of the week here, today being Wednesday, tonight from 6 o'clock until 7:30, Bill Woods and Brene Randolph and myself will be at the Blaze Pizza. Everybody know where Blaze Pizza is? It's on Magnolia, 230 South Magnolia, and we'll be there to do whatever you need. Sell your tickets, take your contributions, and all that kind of good stuff. And then the next day, we haven't determined the time yet, but again, we'll have Bill and myself and Renee at a location where we'll take your money, sell your tickets, and we'll also accept your contributions. Coach, I hope that you'll have a tremendous season, and this is about, 1, raising money, and 2, about letting you know how much we love you. And so we hope you have what would be a kick donkey season. And since we in church, what I would interpret that is a kick-ass season, and we hope you guys do that and have a good time. Thank you.
Joe, go ahead.
Question? Yes, ma'am. Oh, they're going to, again, so thank you. There will be a clear bag policy, and we will have volunteers outside in the area, and we're going to try to tell people, don't come to the back door, go back to your car and get a clear bag so we won't have a problem with it. So we are looking into that, and we are going to put volunteers out around the center so we can let people know that ahead of time. Are there other questions? And we also have security. And I won't go into any great detail that, but security is very important to us, and we have it because, nothing will ever happen until it happens, and then you wish you had done it. We have planned for some good security for you. Other questions? Thank you very much.
Okay, that was made by Wilma, and she has one extra ticket at the 220 Quarterback Club VIP ticket. Okay, so if there's anyone that's listening that's local, you'll be welcome to come, and we will seat you there. Okay, all right. Okay,
Good afternoon. Once again, it's my pleasure to be here today. Today, everybody noticed them Krispy Kreme donuts over there? Those weren't just any donuts. Those were Dean dozens. Kelvin Dean, our running back, the offensive MVP for the Celebration Bowl, he has an NIL deal with Krispy Kreme when you buy a dozen donuts. So Miss Jackson and Selvin and I were talking. I said, I'm gonna go get some of them donuts for the 220 Quarterback Club to help support his NIL. So there was a debate. Miss Jackson said get six. I think Selvin said six. I got eight, and they went so fast. I think next time I'm gonna have to get 10 dozen because they really went fast. But anything to support our student athletes, that's what we're about. So um, I sent Coach a picture, say let Kelvin know we support him, and that's going on. Also. Um, we got to forgive Jennifer, so I got to get out of hot water because we were actually on the field, and I was like, I need you to come to 220 Club, and I didn't give her any directions to wear orange and green. So when she walked in, she came straight to me. So it's my fault. It's not her. She actually had on orange and green today. So please just ignore it and imagine she's dedicated to what she does, and she does a great job. So she gets a pass today. I don't want to hear any more about it. She gets a pass. She gets a pass. Colzie want us to go. No, she gets a pass today. Yeah, yeah, she got it. She got it right. Um, but the other thing is, yes, yes. When you go in Krispy Kreme, say you want a Dean dozen. Any Krispy Kreme in Tallahassee, a Dean dozen, a Dean dozen. Yes, I'm glad you asked that question. And the manager was ecstatic that we were ordering those. So hopefully that'll help him further that NIL for him. Um, Also, before I sit down, and since it's the Olympics, I got to tell this one story. How many people in here know Robert China Doll Paramore? Y'all remember China Doll? Man, I wish I was videoing when Curtis Taylor and I used to go to his house on Friday nights because that would be a Netflix series you wouldn't believe. But there was, as you know, Bob Hayes. Paramore wasn't but one step slower than Bob Hayes. Half a step, some say. So when they were So they started getting invited to track meets because Bob, and they would always bring China Doll. And they were in California. And, you know, everybody know Bob. Bob was a little arrogant. So they're at the starting blocks, getting ready to start. China Doll down there stretching, trying to focus. Bob starts walking up and down the line, talking about me and my boy coming in first and second. Which one of y'all coming in third? So they came in first and second, as they say. China Doll say he grabbed Bob, say, hey man, worry about yourself.
okay. Uh, well, what we've been waiting for is our next, not our next head coach, but our head coach. So, no, 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 no. We're not firing you yet. Yeah. So our coach, Coach James Wellesley, James Colzie the third.
Good as you. Oh man. Oh, let me go. There we It was probably that punch or that yellow punch. Yellow punch. Um, I think Dr. Walker and I, we have a different opinion or a different definition of politely telling somebody uh, not to wear the right color. But we'll agree to disagree, right? Nothing. It's okay. You know, I'll leave that alone. Good to uh, good to see everybody today. I'm gonna make note. I'm gonna have a team. I'm gonna get me one of those golf teams. I'm gonna now this I'm he says $300, right? Okay, I'm not gonna be able to play. I got a scrimmage. Okay, but I'm gonna leave this up to you. I'm gonna make sure I make my do my check, give you the check today. But I need what's probably the best way to put it. I don't need people on my team that play golf. I need golfers. Okay, I want to make sure I get that clear. Now I don't want my foursome to just be guys they play from time to time. I need guys that can play golf. Okay, can you make sure I do that? Now, I mean, you can call them what you want to call them. I mean, but I'm leaving it up to you now. Okay, all right. I'll make sure I give you that check before we get out of here. Um, Good to see Miss Jackson back there. She's still holding court back there. Doesn't always great to see her back there. As a group, I know you come here every week, and I know everyone wants to uh, ask questions and about the game or this and so on and so on and so on. But right now, we just finished practice 11, right? We are a group who had to take take a day off. In our reality, we had to push some things back. And I know we mentioned Dr. Walker earlier. We weren't able to attend church on Sunday because I wanted, with the campus being closed, I didn't want to be irresponsible and have our guys kind of still driving around and doing things like that. Just make sure we were safe and just making sure people, I got fathers, I got mothers, obviously I got players that needed to be maybe back home and things of that nature. So we decided not to attend. And then but we've already set a date. We're gonna do it September 1st after we whip on South Carolina State. So we will be attending church. I knew that'd wake you up. All right, I know that got to get the head up. I know so we will be attending. Okay, well there you go. There you go. So we'll be there. We'll be there September 1st. So we will attend church, Bethel, this upcoming Sunday. We will do a team event the following Sunday, and then we get ready to play a football game. Obviously August 24th, and come back home and play August 31st. So hopefully we should be 2-0, giving praise to Jesus Christ on September 1. Um, I'm going to read something to you real quick before I start talking about the football team. But let me it's my devotion for today. It just said God blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation. Afterward, they will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love Him. Now, when I'm talking about the testing, uh, we have had some hot days. I'm not even gonna lie. We've had some days where I had to kind of turn my back on them a little bit because I didn't want to feel bad for them. You know what I mean? That makes any sense, right? We've had some days again, tough days, and again that's part of training camp. I told you guys earlier when I was speaking about training camp where it is we're testing them, right? We got some new players. We're a little bit different from our guys that we've had over the last couple of years, where you knew about them, you knew who they were, you knew what they were made of, you knew with any adversity what to expect from those individual players. Where now, obviously, as you guys know, we've had a lot of new players, right? And we want to see if they're gonna fight through the nagging injuries, right? We want to see if they're gonna fight through and that whatever that heat index may have been at the time that we were practicing. So we had today. We base our conditioning. I'll use as an example. We base our conditioning on our kickers. All right. So we had practice. We had 24 periods, if I'm not mistaken. We started at 6. It's about 8:40, 8:45, and as you guys know, 8:45 in Tallahassee, that's when it's starting to get hot, right? And our conditioning today was based on how many field goals they missed. Now, today, right? Cameron Gillis, he's a all conference and will more than likely be an All-American. And then his backup, Michael Smith, another guy who's be a future All-American and things of that nature. And they missed was it three out of four today. So now on top of that, when we work the kicks, how many former O linemen do I have in here that played O linemen at all in here? Anybody played O linemen? So what we did is we practice ended and we call it hurricane. No pun intended, but we call it hurricane. And when we say hurricane, that means time is running off the clock. So that means the offense needs to run from the sideline, right? Get set, and then we have to do what? Kick a field goal. So to the old lineman, it's a little bit extra running, right? A little bit extra running. So now TJ Lee, 6'4", 310. Levi Philippe, 6'7", 295. Ashton Grable, he's 6'5", 310. I mean, we got a pretty good sized offensive lineman. But when we're yelling hurricane, right? That means they got. I mean, just like the kickers and the long snappers, they got to do what as well. They gotta get hustle. They gotta hustle on the field, get set. And I can tell you right now, when them doing all of that, and then after a kicker misses the kick, right? It's a little more than a hurricane. I can tell you that right now. I believe me on that. So we today again. There's nothing wrong with our kickers, right? I actually changed it up on them a little bit today. We normally kick in one direction. Today I changed it up on them a little bit. I changed it up and made them kick the other way. So I played with the head just a little bit, right? Well, they missed the three, so then we had to do conditioning after the fact, right? And believe it or not, sometimes you know what I feel bad for my old linemen, you know what I mean, because they've been going at it all day. Today wasn't the day. You know what I mean? We had to, so we kicked, they ran. I don't know what happened in the locker room after that. You know what I mean? I don't know what happened after that. But I'm pretty sure if we do it tomorrow, we probably ain't gonna miss any tomorrow. But little things that we're doing with our team, right? Obviously, just to kind of get a gauge, right? I mean, again, we talk about the players that we've had returning, but it's been a joy. It's been exciting to watch some of the new guys and some of the new guys that are on our team that are going to be our future stars, right? You got a kid by the name of Davion Westmoreland. He was a young man that came from Kansas. He's our starting defensive end, right? He's every bit of 6'5". He's every bit of 260 pounds. He's an imposing young man. He will be our next all-conference defensive lineman. Right? You got a guy by the name of Cameron Donald, another defensive lineman who comes from Kennesaw State. He's from South Carolina. Right? He was at Kennesaw State for 3 years. Really, really soft, talking young man, but extremely strong. Right? He will be our next All-American here at Florida A&M University. You got Jerome Nichols, a young man who's a linebacker, came from the University of Michigan. Doesn't say much. He commands our defense. And I can hear you say this. He will be our next All-American at linebacker at Florida A&M. I go to the offensive side. Right, Levi Philippe, he plays left and right tackle for us, and that's how big he is. He probably could play both if he needed to. But when you look at him, he actually looks like he's a big time basketball player. That's what he looks like. He's every bit of 6'7". I don't think he's 300 pounds yet. Great feet. I mean, he has abs. I mean, it's unbelievable to watch this young man operate like an offensive lineman, and he will be another all-conference, All-American type player here at Florida A&M. And I'm giving you these names because I know with sometimes our practice being closed, and Vaughn will tell you, they ask me questions and questions and questions, and sometimes I really don't answer them, right? I sometimes don't really answer them, but I want our guys to understand, and you guys as alumni and as fans to understand that, you know what, the players are there, right? We go back and forth every day, offensively, defensively. One team has a good day, one side has a good day, the other side understands they got to have a better day the next day. And I think I've mentioned this before. That's a sign of a good football team where, one day you do well, one day you don't, right? But what's going to happen the next day? How are the coaches going to approach the group after having a great day than after having a bad day? We had a scrimmage on Saturday, and I would say defense probably won, right? So defensive coaches, we were gone. We were all, we were good high-fiving each other. Well, guess what the offensive coaches were? Working. Right? You know what I mean? So and that's part of it. Now, again, we had a very, very good day on the defensive side. Offense, again, did not have a good day. Again, back in there, working, trying to improve it. Now, again, we didn't tell the offensive coach we were going to blitz a little bit, Mr. Carr. We didn't tell them that. We said we were just going to sit back and play with 4. That's not what we did. Okay, that's not what we did. So and there's some cat and mouse in there as well, as far as guys, trying to install what you want to do on defense, trying to install what you want to do on offense, trying to install what you want to do on special teams. But what I do see is from our football team at this stage, they know what to expect. They know the expectations, right? I had a couple guys ask me, how's this thing gonna be on Saturday? And all I can tell them is, you'll see. You'll see what you walk into. All right, you got a group that really, really loves Florida A&M football. And we're on top of the country. We are the #1 HBCU, not just in academics, but also the #1 HBCU football team in the country. And I can't overemphasize to them how much love I feel from you guys whenever I'm around you, how much love I feel when I'm in here. All right. I mean, he already fired me, right? He already fired me earlier today and was calling me something else, but we're not gonna get into that just yet. All right. But again, I brought 2 people with me, and I know I'll get some questions later on. We don't answer quarterback questions. Okay. I didn't tell y'all that in the car. Okay, we didn't answer quarterback questions, but I'll answer as many questions as you know I will once we get done. But I want to first and foremost introduce my first person that's going to speak to you today. Now, I will say this. He is a guy that has more nicknames than anybody I've been around. Boo Radley, Ace, Shucky Ducky Quack Quack. I don't know how many names the young man has, but I call him AC. All right, young man from Tallahassee, obviously went to Alabama, did some amazing things. He's back with us in his 2nd season as our wide receiver coach. This is Coach Antonio Carter.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for that, Coach Colzie. Thank you guys so much, and ladies, for having us today. I'm super excited about it. So what's up? We're going to catch a lot of touchdowns, and we're going to win football games. I'm done. No, but I am. I'm super excited to be here. So thankful Coach Colzie gave me an opportunity to be retained. This being my home, my family is here, and just my friends is here. This home, and I was raised 2 blocks away down there on Orange Avenue and Hope Street, St. Mark Street, Saxon Street. So used to walk to the games at halftime. So again, I am super excited to be a part of this program. It is a part of me and my family. My dad played here. All my family went to school here. My Uncle Six back there in the back, he's here in the 220 Club. We talk all the time, and super excited again to be a part. No, I'm who that? Yeah, no. My Uncle Jarvis Rozier there, that's my guy there, man. We talk all the time, and again, I'm just super excited to be here. So I don't know. I just talk about the receivers a little bit, Coach. Well, y'all want to answer the question? I want me to talk first. All right, we'll talk. Well, I tell you, I got a great group of guys. And we all a lot of new faces in that room. I tell you, those guys I brought in. I brought them in this year. And last year, my motto in the room was relentless focus. We're all summer. My wife and I, we talked, and all these new faces. And I came up for this year. Our room is we win every day. And also, it's going to take all of us. Because a lot of new faces. Hey, not a lot of big names, right? A bunch of guys that's going to do the right thing, great character guys, and they're working their tails off. And I'm super excited to have them. It was tough losing Marcus Riley, right? A guy that was a local guy that did a phenomenal job for us. Also, Nick Dixon, another local young man that did a phenomenal job for us. And some other young men we had, but hey, they're long gone. It's the next chapter. Those guys were trailblazers for us, and it's our job to continue that legacy. And we got us some Coach Coach, and I brought in some really good guys, and Coach Henry, and super excited to have them. Super, super excited. Got a lot of speed, right? I tell all the time they can't run like me, though, right? But no, they're a great group of young men. They work hard each and every day. And the thing that I love about them the most is the want to that they have. They ask great questions. They hang around my office. One of them, Bale, texted me 2-3 times last night, 11 something at night. I saw him this morning. He told me, Coach, why you answer the phone? I said, man, I was asleep. But you should have been. We got to get up this morning, right? But that's what kind of guys we got. And one of the things one of my mentors always talked about was the process. And kind of what I came up with my guys, you have to love the process, right? You have to love the process. And what is that? A lot of guys away from home. I got a young man in my room from Canada, right? I got men all over the country, right? I got one that is a full custody of his son. I mean, everyone has something going on, right? But you have to prioritize that to make sure you go to class, take care of your academics, right? Taking care of your business inside that building and football, and then also taking care of life. And so it is a process, but you got to be in love with it, right? Because it's going to, like Coach was saying, it's going to be tough days. I got a bunch of them out there nicked up, them legs hurting because it's a track meet out there, right? So they've been running and running and running. It is hot, but I tell them, hey, let's go, man. You have to love the process. You got to be in love with it, and those guys are buying in. I'm just, again, super excited to be a part of them, and I'm glad that the Lord gave me this platform to pour into them because it's bigger than football to me, right? I tell those guys all the time, if I just did it for ball, I wouldn't be doing it, right? And the Lord has given me this platform for a reason. It's a discipleship. I tell my guys every day, iron sharpens iron, right? And that's what it's all about, right? We got to take care of each other, cry together, we're going to laugh together. Coach Colzie tell me all the time, he said, AC, man, you're going to have a heart attack out here, right? I do. I be yelling on them because I want the best for them, right? I want them to be successful in everything they do, right? Football is just the door opener for them, right? So I want to make sure that they're doing everything they're supposed to do so they can be the best young men. And football gives them that opportunity, working together. You're going to be a family. You're going to have a wife one day. You're going to be children, teammates, family, like commitment, discipline, right? Accountability, all of those things that Coach Colzie instills in our players, they're going to have to carry that into life. And so that's what it's all about. And I'm going to continue to nudge them and push them. And I tell them they're going to dream about Coach AC every day. Right? So good. But here we go. What we got? Who got the first one?
The first one gonna come from on. Who's got a question so I can be heading your way as we do this one from on. The first question is, who is taking the leadership role in the wide receiver room?
Wow, that's good. That is a really good one. I tell you, we got a good group, but I would say Jamar Gassett, right? He is returning. He's from Tampa, Florida. He was number 2 last year. He's a senior, and I tell you, I mean, I get chill bumps right now when I say his name. Just to be around that young man today, and when I got here a year ago, I was ready to get rid of that joker. He was immature. He was on every list that came, missing this, missing that. Like, we could be in the middle of practice, he over there dancing with the girls. And, like, literally, he was just all over the place. But to see the turn that he made, man, that's what it's all about. And he goes about his business every day that way. And he's now able to be vocal, but he also walk it. And so I'm so proud of that young man. He's our leader in that room.
Good afternoon, everyone. Coaching is very similar to teaching, if you will.
Yes,
And a lot of people are big on discipline, and I am too. But you sound as if you have a very good approach on what's going on with the young people.
yes, ma'am.
In all of your description, would you be doing something to help the mental state with a lot of bigness on mental health and all of that to ensure that they can deal with all of the dynamics and the nuances that go along with being a player and your expectations?
Yes, ma'am. So I don't do a hands-on. We have some professionals that does help us that we have on campus, online number that they can call. But for me, I start every single meeting. How you doing? How mama doing? How auntie doing? I want to know that's first and foremost, right? I start every meeting with that way because I can tell, even when they be like, Coach, I'm good. No, you ain't. I know I can get that body language and by his tone that after meeting, we need to have a come to Jesus meeting. I want to know what's going on because that's important. My job is to help them young men eliminate distractions so they can be their best. It's hard to play fast and be a good athlete if you got that mind going on about things you can't control. And I really be on those young men about harping about controlling the controllables. Control what you can control, right? I got a young man, like I said, he has full custody of his son. He's been struggling a couple of days. I said, man, what's going on? I miss my son. I said, I know. But guess what? Is he smiling? You talk to him? I said, you talk to him? He said, yeah, coach. And the smile when I asked him, I said, well, I know he all right then. Hey, boy, let's go play some football, right? Right? I know he okay. You cannot control that, and you worrying because he does have good support system. His mom, his dad, he got some good support. He's from Lake City, Florida. But again, that's important to me. right? I want to make sure that those young men, their mental is right because that's the big part of it, right? If their mind right, if they can focus on what they got to get done, they can play fast and have fun.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned it earlier, but who is your mentor?
My mentor, the young man, the guy, I say the young man, I call him young man, but when I was talking about the process was Coach Saban. I had an opportunity to be on part of his staff, and I learned so much from him. But I have many. My pastor back in Alabama, I talk to him daily. Um, uh, Coach Dabo Sweeney at Clemson, we talk once a week. So I have a lot of them. And those guys, they all have a different angle how they skin that cat, as you say. And I take a little piece from each one of them. And also, I mean, these guys, see, Alabama's rolling now. Well, we was pretty good, but I played for 4 head coaches. I had 4 position coaches. I had 4 coordinators. So that's what this thing is all about. So I have a bunch of men in my life that poured into me that was awesome and that I turned to them. And when I need this, I remember this coach told me this, so I would reach out to him. And so I get a little bit of all of them. But from that, what I was speaking of is Coach Saban. He always talked about the process, embrace the process. And so I said, you got to be in love with the process.
Yeah, Coach Carter.
Yes, sir.
Um, you got the wide receivers, but you got the arm to get it to him. That's the thing.
And there you go. There
Coach,
you
Coach,
go.
Coach Colzie has a moratorium on
Hey, there you
quarterback
go.
questions.
Look, do we know?
Trust me.
Hey, look. Hey,
Trust
look.
me, I'm a member of the media, and for the last 2 weeks,
Hey, my
we have
wife.
tried to ask that question every single way you can phrase it, and no answer.
My wife love running water. My kids love food in the refrigerator. So I need my job. So I can't answer that.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
my question is for the head coach, Coach Colzie. With the talent and the excitement that you all have demonstrated in here, why do we have closed practices?
How many reasons you want me to give you? How many do
Well,
you need?
I would think, the way I look at it, you don't need a closed practice because scouting, a scout cannot determine what's in the heart of the person. If you are better practiced and all of that, I don't care what that scouting report says, you should be able to go out and demonstrate it and beat whoever is out there. That's my thinking on it. I would love to have
Well,
open
well,
practices.
no. I mean, I'll say this to you. There's a lot of unknown right now. Norfolk State has a brand new offensive coordinator. We don't know what they're going to be running offensively, right? There's a lot of questions asked about our football team that I'd like for them to find out once they play us that first or second time. There's no, um, we we don't know who our quarterback's going to be, right? We're working on it daily. We have quarterbacks working at different spots at different times. I'd like for them just to concentrate on that as opposed to maybe reading in the media how well or poorly they may be doing. Right now, I'll tell you this: we had a guy trying to film our scrimmage Saturday. Right, so that's another reason why we try to close practices. Right, so you're right. I'm with you. Yeah, if you got the better team, you know what I mean. But scouting, there's no scouting for our first game. Heck, even our second game. Right, you know what I mean. So I'd like for them to find out how good we are once they play us. Just like we're gonna find out how good they may be. Right, because we're not gonna know how good they are either. Right, until we play them. So that's my reason for closing practice.
Any
He
more questions?
he knew them heat questions were coming, so he's
All right, Coach.
yes.
Oh, hold
Oh,
on.
for me or for AC?
It don't matter what
Okay.
you Oh,
That's that's actually defensive coordinator right there. That's DC. That's DC right there.
I just want to add to what you said, Coach Cozy.
Yes, ma'am.
There are a lot of people, everybody now on social media. Close practice, no offense, close practice is a good thing because everybody's on social media. And I know during game time, they always have these drones
Mm.
flying over. And I hear the announcer on the PA thing saying that, whoever has the drone, lower it right away.
Right.
But I'm always, when I'm looking up, I still see it roaming. So they will take that, what you have, and believe it or not, they'll go and sell your information.
Of course. Of course. Of course. I'll tell you this. We're not the first team that's closed practices. I mean, this isn't something that's, it's happened before, right? My reasons per se are our quarterback battle. I want our guys just to concentrate on what they need to be concentrating on. I don't know. We made mention to our guys last year, and when the cameras were around Isaiah Major, and the videos, the pictures were on Johnny Chaney, and when the cameras were on Marcus Riley and Jeremy Musa, we knew that they knew how to handle it. We knew that. I mean, Isaiah Major had been on. He's had cameras around him his entire career. Jeremy Musa had his cameras on him his entire career, right? So I didn't necessarily know how our guys were going to handle any of the outside stuff that it takes, right? So I wanted them just to concentrate on what we're doing, just what we're doing at Florida A&M, nothing more, nothing less. Because we do have guys. I'm telling you right now, they will not know what a home game like is in Bragg Stadium. They won't have a clue. They won't. So again, right? Obviously, they're gonna have to get used to it. They're gonna get a little bit of a taste of it, not a little bit. They're gonna get a lot of taste of it in Atlanta, right? But as far as understanding how these guys are going to react in situations that they're maybe not accustomed to, right? So why did I close it? Well, it was already mentioned. Yeah, I wanted to. That's the first reason. The second reason is I want to make sure our guys are just concentrating on what they need to be concentrating on these first 10, 15, 28. And Vaughn will tell you, Vaughn called me and said, Coach, I need this, I need that. What'd I do? I extended it. He said he needed something. Hey, we'll do it. You know what I mean? But overall, right, I don't really trust the other folks. Like I said, we had a guy filming our scrimmage Saturday. We had to stop the scrimmage for how long? 10 minutes? 10 minutes. He was filming in the end zone. So, right, so we had to stop. So, what he filmed was us watching him film us. Right? That's what he saw. Right? But we stopped. Right? So, again, I don't want anybody to have an edge on us. But again, obviously, I want to make sure we just take care of what we're doing. And that's all I'm necessarily worried about. Yeah. And you good? You good, AC? Now, just so you guys know, when we practice at 6 o'clock in the morning, we get up, we got called up 5:45, 5:50, right? Our guys hit the field at 6, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say it's 100% everybody's ready to go. I'm not going to say that. There's some guys dragging around, including myself, right? So, but the minute I walk out and I see the grass, right? That's AC, relentless focus. Let's go. I ain't got no choice. I got no choice. Whatever's wrong with me or how I'm feeling, I gotta get ready to go. All right. Did I do it? Did I do again demonstration of the relentless focus? All right. I want to make sure. All right. All right. Were you gonna do the introduction, or would you like for me to do that? I don't know if you. Oh, I thought you were gonna do it. I thought you were doing it. Okay, I can do it. No problem. I thought she was introducing you. I don't know. That's my fault. I thought you were. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Next person. Oh, I misheard. I apologize. I'm sorry. Okay. Last but certainly not least. So just to keep you in understanding how this came about. We all understand the closeness that Coach Johnson had with Coach Simmons. Coach Johnson, LaTroy Johnson was our director of operations, chief of staff. Literally ran the football program, to the best of his ability, and would just tell Coach Simmons where to be. Making sure Coach Simmons was where he needed to be, right? Being in the right spot, making sure he handled it, whatever needed to be handled. The one thing that she gets on me about, making sure that I sign whatever I'm supposed to be signing on a daily basis. But in all reality, all right, in all reality, the entire operating of our football team boils down to the next person I'm getting ready to introduce. All right, when it was time to find that person, the couple of things that I wanted to make sure that I got that I had that I wanted in that person. I wanted to be extremely organized, right? And they needed to keep track of me. All right. So now when you think about organization and then keeping track of me, not necessarily the same. All right. But she's done an amazing job here over the last 4 or 5 months. She's single-handedly, I guess, the athletic department is extremely excited on a lot of things that she's doing, keeping us orderly, keeping us financially responsible, making sure our guys already know if they do have any issues, they don't even necessarily call me. They just call Jennifer because they already know Jennifer's getting ready to make sure she takes care of it to the best of her ability. But this is our director of football operations. She's also our chief of staff. But this is Miss Jennifer Santiago. She's the one who knows who the quarterback is.
You see, he set me up there. He said, if she's going to tell me where to be. So if he's ever not in the right place, whose fault is going to be? You guys are going to know exactly who to come to, right? My name is Jennifer Santiago. AC runs his room. Coach runs his room. I run all of them. And I'm going to get them where they need to go. And I'm going to try really hard to make sure they are fed. And that's really difficult. The amount of money we have to spend on food is really pretty crazy. So that's been the hardest part of my job, is making sure that everybody is fed and has the energy and everything they need to go. So I'm open for questions. Anybody has anything? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I have been in college athletics for 20 years. I started off at Georgia State in Atlanta. I was there. You said teacher is much like a coach. Actually started off as a teacher, and I coached basketball. Um, and from there, I got into college athletics because the relationship I had with my players was such that I could do more in their personal life than I could as a teacher, right? Because there's always that line that you have to draw. So that's how I got into college athletics. But I've always been a teacher at heart. I love teaching. I love watching kids grow into who they need to be. I was an academic advisor for a lot of years. Um, the golf coach that currently at Florida State worked with me at Georgia State. So he got here for a couple years, and they had an opening, and he recruited me down here. So that's how I ended up in Tallahassee. And I was in the athletic department at Florida State, and I had a number of jobs. I'm not even going to list them all for you, but I did 2 stints in operations, one with our men and women's track team, and that's similar numbers to football. So I have a little bit of experience in moving a lot of people around. And then the second was with golf. And then the last 2 years at Florida State, I was in the admissions office. So I've had that side of it too. So knowing what kids need to do to get into college and the benchmarks that they need to meet. So that's how I ended up where I'm at. I'm the mother of 4. So the other day in our staff meeting, Coach wanted all the husbands to go home and make sure their families were okay. So I had to get on him a little bit there. So, yes, ma'am. I grew up in Sarasota, Florida. So that's where I grew up. My family's originally from New York. I went to school at Villanova. I wanted to go far away, and I did. And then I did my graduate education at the University of Pennsylvania. So I was in Philadelphia for a while, and taught in inner city Philadelphia for a while. And then I made my way sort of down back to Sarasota, and taught at Booker High School in Sarasota. So I did that for a number of years before I got to Georgia State. So, yes. We,
So one special person is Mrs. Saturday. So all of you are welcome to be her apple.
I do have an intern. She started yesterday. So yes, she's very helpful. She's actually worked with equipment last year, so she's familiar with the program, and has done some things with football that I haven't done. So it's good to have her as a resource for me. Miss Jordan Johnson, she's been really great so far. Um, so I have her, and then we have a new director of recruiting, will be. Shouldn't have said that yet. I won't say anything about the quarterbacks though. Promise. Any questions? I will say the other day when we had the guy videoing us, um, coach doesn't say anything to anybody else. I hear Jennifer. He points, so I just make my way over there by myself, not like thinking that I should call anybody else to go with me. And I don't know how many of you know Cap, Jimmy Calloway. He comes up with me and says, what are you gonna say? I'm just ask him what he's gonna do. So I go up there and I start talking to the guy. The guy backs off right away, and I'm like, feeling pretty good about what I did. I turn around, and I don't know if you guys know Officer Gaines, but Officer Gaines is behind me. I know why the guy backed off pretty quick. Had nothing to do with me. So I had backup.
Thank you very much. You got anything for me, Mr. Vaughn, by any chance? No. Oh. Well. Um, I will say this. The last couple of weeks we've been Tuesdays and Wednesdays is normally our morning practices. We've got a chance to talk to the leadership committee, and again, hearing from our players, right, hearing from our staff. Those morning practices that we normally do on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we're not going to do those in the evening. We're going to practice in the evening on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Thursdays and Fridays, we'll still keep our morning and afternoon schedules. But our first game of the year, 7:30 at night. So we're going to start getting used to practicing at the time frames that we will be playing. So, and believe it, again, just understanding our guys, understanding how they are. We're not doing as great of a job as taking care of ourselves in the morning, as far as eating and going to sleep at night, things like that. So let's come in the morning, let's eat breakfast, let's do our meetings, let's eat lunch, and then have practice at night. So I know already throughout the day you've already done everything necessary to take care of yourself. For the next couple of weeks on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we will be practicing at night. There you go, G. So you don't have to call me and ask me. You can call me at any time. But so again, just for our players, right? So just trying to help our guys, making sure that they're making the maximum level, optimal level. We want them to be ready to go. So that's I think for us that'll be a good move over the next couple of weeks to start practicing in the evening. We haven't decided yet. Jennifer and I have to actually sit down. But what time do you want us to go? That means we're gonna go at 7. No, I think what time are our dinner? Don't we have dinner at 7? Isn't our dinner? We're not gonna move our food, so it'll be around that time. I mean, just to kind of coordinate when we normally play. We play, and we got a bunch of night games as well. But I know once school starts, we will get back to the morning. But just for these next 2 weeks, kind of banged up. Our guys are. I don't think our guys are eating as well as they should be or taking care of their bodies. So now we'll just use the day to make sure they're eating and sleeping and then so we can have our best practices in the evening. Yes, sir. Well, I mean, so I don't know if you guys have heard, but our new president our interim president came and saw practice yesterday. And in our conversation, when I spoke to him, he came and watched the beginning of the afternoon. He actually talked to the team before they went out, and then him and I, we walked around, and I would say if it's something that could be right now, I've spoken about our locker room probably at length since I got hired. And our the signage in that building, like you have signage in that building that still has MEAC signs on it. And I mean I'll be honest with you. I mean if I you go across the country, right, and you look at the inside and miss, you came with me one day and I showed it to her. Our in the inside of our locker room is not it's not even in the top 6 in the SWAC. And I'm just being honest. Again, I'm only been here head coach 5 or 6 months. But when you walk into a building and you see MEAC signs still in that building, right, and you have old signage on there, I just we have the toughest place to play in the country, right, and when they walk into our locker room to get ready to go into their locker room that they have, there's nothing on that. There's nothing on that side. There's nothing on that wall. Where, in my opinion, when those teams come in and they look and go down that hallway, that should be Hall of Fame, 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 National Championship. They should walk into our locker room, understanding who they're getting ready to play. But when you walk in there, it's just white. It's just white, and that's just across the building. And that's what I would say, because that's where we're at right now. I mean, you got Alabama State, they got what they have, right? Jackson State, I know even though that's not their stadium, but their locker room is superb. You even Alcorn State, they have a team meeting room where it's a pretty nice spot where has it hurt us yet? No, right? You know what I mean? But as far as what's going on right now, the recruits that we're bringing in, I'd love for them to walk into a locker room where it's not just the team is the best in the SWAC, the surrounding facilities and the locker rooms are in that same gauge. That's what I would say right now. We've done measurements and things of that nature. Jennifer and I actually this morning we counted how many doors that we needed to put signage on and things like that. But you hope. I mean, we play in 2 weeks. So I'm hoping they ain't doing anything now because they're gonna be in the way.
Coach,
Yes.
how much?
How much?
What you think? What's the estimate?
I mean, what was I don't know what the guy that came in that day. He came in. What did he say? 15? Oh, well, we did signage. We had a couple people come in and do some estimates. It was probably anywhere between 10 to 15,000. You know what I mean? But that's again when you do stuff on campus, right? You got to get approvals.
Coach, you didn't have to explain. You told us you need it. Now you told us how much.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Okay.
But you're talking about signs, right?
Right, just signs and just I'd like the inside of the locker room to be at a national championship level. Right, we just won national championship. Yes, sir. Okay. I okay. I mean we had an estimate. I can't remember what it was, but
Coach, I'll coordinate with you this
yes,
week
sir.
because
I'll let you know.
we also know the
Yes.
people who did the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
did the field house.
But
So
I mean, and again, we're getting ready to do recruiting. You know what I mean? You can't necessarily do a mass overall right now of the building, right? Because we're getting ready to start a season. You know what I mean? And again, I talked about signage, probably one of my first things that I mentioned in February and March. We had somebody come in, take a look at it. We're now in August. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at. But that would be for me as far as just recruiting, who's coming in the building. That would be the biggest thing for me. Second thing would be, I ain't gonna lie, is make sure we get that practice field get ready to go because we haven't been on the practice field just yet. Oh, I think they're still trying to mow it and all the other stuff, line it up. So we go where we can practice. Anything else? We good? Thank you very much. Good to see y'all. I'll see everybody Saturday.
Roland, would you raise your hand? That's Officers Gaines' father.
we will go over to the field house, talk with coach, but I'm gonna go to facilities today and figure out why our practice field is not ready. It's football season. That makes no sense to me. So somebody there is gonna have to tell me something today. Anyway, before I give it back to Selvin, before we leave today, as the 220 quarterback, the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club, I don't want our mission ever to get lost. So I found a video that I didn't even remember taking. It's a video of Mr. Jackson talking for about 4 minutes when we first got the first cooling chamber. So we're gonna play that as soon as Selvin closes us out. So don't leave because that video is very important. And then there's an athlete right behind him from this year that's gonna echo exactly what Mr. Jackson said.
Okay. This is the end of the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club, but I promise you, next week we'll have more and exciting news available. So, you ready? Dr. B. Yeah.
Mr. Jackson, this is one of the projects of the 220 Quarterback Club. How good does it make you feel that the group got together to help the team?
I'll tell you how good it made me feel. I was after literature called and said that it had flipped over and it been down. I had a heart attack for a moment. I think this is probably my proudest moment as a rapper because Coach Simmons told me that 2 years ago that his greatest priority was to make sure none of his players died by heat stroke or got seriously sick from heat stroke. And so he wanted some help with that. We took that on and we kept looking for a project that would help. And I saw an article in Sports Illustrated about the cooling center. And I saw this guy with the funny last name, Boudreaux, Paul Boudreaux, and I gave him a call. And man, he was very, very helpful. He was interested. He came down here. He talked to the 220 Quarterback Club. He met the president of the university. And Coach Simmons got excited, and 220 got excited. It cost $15,000 to rent it for 2 months, and that's what most universities do, including Florida State University. We raised that money in about 2 weeks. We had enough money to know that our goal was going to be achieved. So, hey man, I'm just as happy as I can be. I tell some prevarication sometime about I played football. So I just want to get one more in. I'm sorry we didn't have one when I was running for the ball.
Hey, Mr. Jackson, as Mr. Boudreaux spoke at the 220 Club, you found out that FAMU is the only HBCU with this technology. How does that make you feel?
That makes me feel good because FAMU is used to being first. And there have been a lot of inquiries. And since our story came out, Paul Boudreaux said he's got numerous calls from a number of HBCUs, but nobody has followed through yet. And so far, we're number one. And this is one of the biggest growing phenomena in college football. FSU is running two this summer, this fall, rather. And it's growing. And I'm just glad that a school in our division, especially at HBCU, is able to take advantage of this for the health and well-being of its players.
On tomorrow, whoop.
So that was 3 years ago, the first time we got the cooling chamber, and this was You recovered?
Yeah,
How is it in there?
it's nice. It's cold, real cold.
Did it help your body to recover?
Yep, yep. Bring you right down after a practice, hot practice, 90 degrees. Get in that real quick, 5-10 minutes, straight.
Doctor's here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. But before you leave, I just wanted to say that on Friday at 11 at 11:30 sharp, Dr. Interim President Dr. Tim Beard will be there. So if you want to come out and meet the interim president, now is a great time to do that. Okay? At 11:30.
And he will tentatively be
At
at,
Los.
and he'll tentatively be at the 220 Quarterback Club next week. I saw him outside of practice yesterday. You know, I only got the first 20 minutes or so I can record a practice, and he stopped me for the first 10. I was like, man, they're going to kick me off as soon as I get out there. But he's a real nice guy. The reason he took so long is because he knows my dad from Ocala. That's why. But he's a really, really nice guy, and spoke well of the 220 Quarterback Club. He's a fan of the 220 Quarterback Club. So I asked him, and he said we're going to make sure he can get us on his schedule. So most likely we'll have the president here for next week's meeting.
Okay. Don't you? Question. Okay.
California this year, you can vote every day for your Pacific college that you want to be out there for that battle of the band. You can vote every day. It's not just one time. I would encourage everybody to get online and vote.
Okay. All right. Thank you. On the one battle. That's right. Okay.
I'll see you Saturday.
Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
going
We'll be
to
there.
come in for the call.